What's going on, rock stars? Fire salute. All right, what we got going on? Ooh, that's what we got going on. Yes, the mirror. Well, let's have a look. It's all cut out, as you can see, under this protective layer. And yes, this is mirror, but it is not, well, real mirror. Let me explain. It's a type of plastic. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it has the effect of real mirror. See, that's under the protective coating. So I went ahead and pulled some of this up so you could kind of get a glimpse of what this will look like. And yes, it will look like real mirror because, well, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. See how nice that looks? And that piece is actually cut out. So you can actually move it up and down. Let's see if I can pull it up a little bit here. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull it out so you can have a look at what this is. Yeah, real mirror. Well, real cool, but actually not real. It's just like mirror, but it's some type of poly plastic. So, and it is sharp, so yeah, it can cut you. Just like mirror can. But it's definitely easier to work with. And I like it. And it'll work really well for the Ironbird. Yes. So, just to give you an idea, like I was talking about in the previous video, you want everything to be flat and smooth, but you don't want your mirror to be flat. And what I was trying to explain in that video is that if you put your mirror flat, then it's not going to really reflect except when light hits it directly. So if you put your mirror at just a slight angle, and you just do that with all the pieces here, you just bevel them this way and bevel them that way. When you lay it down, then you will get a really good effect. When light hits it, it'll bounce in different directions, you know, this way and that way. So you don't want to lay your mirror perfectly flat. You actually want to have it just at a slight angle. And that's the best way to do this. And as you can see, this is my design, my cut pattern. Yeah, we don't copy other people, man. Even though we are, in a way, because, you know, it is a mirror guitar, but it's different. And as you can see, it's a good thickness. It's lightweight. It looks great. And that is exactly how we're going to accomplish this. Now, to glue the mirror in, I have, well, here, let me just grab it. It is a really good adhesive. You've probably seen this at your local hardware stores and whatnot. It's called E6000. Yeah, sound effects. Now this stuff is, well, freaking awesome. It will glue this really nice. Now when you cut the body shape, you want to make sure that when you cut this, that they match up perfectly, because this is actually going to sit inside there. And that's kind of why I got this protective coating on top of it, is I'll basically take it from the back, which, here, I'll flip this up so you can kind of get an idea here. See, that's the back of it. And I got this piece of, I don't know, it's kind of like a cardboard, but it's, well, you know. Anyway, it's there to hold it in place while I take this cover off and remove it, and then I can lay this perfectly in there. What you'll want to do is make sure you got a good amount of glue in the area. And when you push it down, you can push down individual pieces. So, give you an example. when your glue is in this area, you can kind of push this down and just kind of bevel it this way just a hair. On the next one, bevel that way, vice versa, and do the whole thing that way. And that way, it will turn out spectacular. And then you will have perfection. Now, I recommend that you do a couple sample pieces, so make sure you got some extra mirror line around. You can have this cut up. Now, I had a local company, go ahead and cut this. I went ahead and did this part of it in Adobe Illustrator. So it helps to either have somebody familiar with Adobe Illustrator so they can make the cut lines, or you can draw out your cut pattern and give it to a graphics company or a sign company, and they can probably go ahead and cut this for you. And that's basically what I did. I did this in Adobe Illustrator, and then I sent them the AI file, and then they went ahead and cut this to the exact dimensions that I created it. And this will fit inside there perfectly. Now, once you get this inside and glued down, you want to let it set for about 24 hours before you mess with it. And once it's inside and glued down, then we'll go to the next step, which is laying epoxy. And then after you lay the epoxy in there and that dries, you want to give that about 72 hours, depending on what epoxy you use. And then you're going to sand that with 1,000. You don't want to go any lower than 1,000 grit, because you'll actually see your sand scratches that you're going to put in this, because this is a plastic. It's not real mirror. So after you get the epoxy down, the epoxy is mainly there to, one, fill in the grooves that you're going to have. You're going to have grooves. And two, create an overall bond. And then you want to protect it with a polyurethane clear coat. So after everything's dried, then you'll wet sand it. I recommend wet sanding it. Use 1,000 grit. Don't go to 2,000. You need that polyurethane to stick to the epoxy. So you're definitely going to have to use 1,000 grit. Don't do 800, because 800 is too rough. 1,000 grit is the way to go with this material, and it'll come out perfect. I've done this a few times, and I've always had really good results. So there you go. This is another part in the series, and the next thing you'll see is us getting the epoxy down on top and then getting it ready for its final paint and clear coat. You don't want to paint the guitar before you epoxy it. You want to paint it after you epoxy it, because some of the epoxy may not be perfectly level, so you'll have to sand it perfectly level. And you just want to make sure that you don't damage the body, well, you can't damage the body if you don't paint it. So if you painted it, then you would damage the paint more than likely. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, just put them down below. I can answer the questions. And other than that, like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you in the next video. All right. We'll talk to you then. Keep rocking. See ya.